A state of shock is an acute and prolonged failure of the cardiovascular system, where the heart and the blood vessels can no longer ensure a sufficient supply of oxygen to meet the vital needs of the tissues. This critical imbalance leads to cellular hypoxia, where the cell lack oxygen to function normally, quickly endangering the patient's life. It is a medical emergency that requires immediate management to avoid irreversible organ damage. The etiological diagnosis of a state of shock is based on a thorough clinical analysis completed by paraclinical investigations when the patient is stable and the signs of severity are absent. One of the first indicative elements is the differential blood pressure. A narrowed value less than 30 points to a quantitative shock, which can be subdivided into hypovolemic or cardiogenic shock, each with specific characteristics and causes. Let's start with hypovolemic shock. This type of shock is characterized by well-identifiable clinical manifestations, particularly bleeding, whether visible, such as external hemorrhagia. Signs of dehydration may also appear, such as a persistent skin fold or an intense sensation of thirst, which indicates a significant fluid deficit. These clinical observations require confirmation to essential paraclinical examination. A blood typing is performed in case of urgent transfusion, while a CBC or a complete blood count allows detection of possible anemia. Additionally, a beta-HCG dosage is essential in women of childbearing age to rule out any ectopic pregnancy. In a distinct context, cardiogenic shock is characterized by specific clinical signs that reflect the heart's inability to maintain adequate blood flow. Among the most common manifestations are chest pain that might suggest myocardial infarction, heart murmurs indicating valvular diseases, and signs of heart failure. These latter signs are divided into two categories: signs of left heart failure, such as dyspnea, crackling rise related to pulmonary congestion, and signs of right heart failure, like jugular vein distension and hepatojugular reflux, which indicates systemic venous stasis. A chest X-ray can reveal pulmonary congestion, an enlarged cardiac silhouette, or a tension pneumothorax, while an ECG can identify electoral abnormalities suggesting an infarction or rhythm disorder. Echocardiography, for its part, is a key tool for detecting structural pathologies such as valvular diseases or obstructive conditions like pulmonary embolism or pericardial tamponade. Conversely, a widened differential blood pressure exceeding 40 points to distributive shock. A complex presentation with distinct subtypes include septic shock and anaphylactic shock. Septic shock is a severe form of circulatory failure related to infection, manifests through various clinical signs. Among the main ones are fever or the contrary hypothermia, often accompanied by an obvious infectious focus, such as wound, urinary or pulmonary infection. A CBC or a complete blood count shows a leukocytosis or leukopenia. Bacteriological samples and inflammatory markers like ESR, C-reactive proteins, and procalcitonin are useful. Bacteriological samples such as blood culture or cytobacteriological urine exam help identify the responsible infectious agent. The potential causes of septic shock are diverse, covering a broad spectrum of bacterial, fungal, and parasitic infections. This etiological diversity highlights the importance of a rapid and precise evaluation to initiate appropriate treatment, often based on antibiotics or antifungals, and to optimize the patient's prognosis. Anaphylactic shock is marked by severe, often dramatic allergic reactions that can quickly become life-threatening. Among the characteristic signs are skin manifestations like angioedema or Quink's edema, which can obstruct the airways, bronchospasm causing respiratory distress, and digestive disorders like abdominal pain, nausea, or vomiting. These clinical manifestations typically occur after exposure to a specific allergen, such as certain medications, food, or insect venom. There are some other forms of shock that stem from varied etiologies. One of them, shock secondary to spinal cord trauma, marked by predominant neurological signs, a bradycardia associated with partial or total paralysis, such as paraplegia or tetraplegia due to spinal cord lesion. A drug-induced vasoplegic shock occurs in a specific context, particularly in cases of drug overdose or suicide attempts, and is characterized by a loss of vascular tone, leading to severe hyperperfusion. Of these various clinical presentations highlights the need for rapid and appropriate management to prevent irreversible complications. We will talk about the treatment and other stuff in the next video. Hope this information were helpful to you, and if you have any questions, please leave them below. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you in the next one.